First comes the man, then comes the mistress, then comes murder. But did his mistress really brutally murder him? Or was it someone else? Let's find out right now. Wednesday, my Cajun cuties. Yes, it's me, Anne-Marie, aka the Cajun Crime Queen from Carrico, Louisiana. Cajun born, Cajun bred, and when I die, I'll be Cajun dead. I hope after this video that you like, subscribe, and comment, and don't forget to press on that notification bell so you never miss a video from me, Anne-Marie. I hope you have a beverage. I hope you have a snuggle partner or a snuggle fur partner. Those are the best, and you're ready to hear a true crime case with yours truly. And as always, I want to thank y'all for joining me on this Wicked Wednesday evening. And I want to know, are y'all drinking y'all water? Are y'all staying hydrated? Are y'all getting those tickers up? Remember, just a quick 20-30 minute walk, especially first thing in the morning, 20-30 minutes, get those endorphins up, and you are going to have an amazing day. I promise you, you are going to feel wonderful and have tons of energy all throughout the day. And today, we are going to be discussing a man everybody adored and loved. Yes, today we are going to be talking about Steve Air Mcnair. Stephen Latrell Mcnair was born on the most loving day of the year, February 14th, 1973, to his parents, Lucille and Salma Mcnair, in Mount Olive, Mississippi, which is only about 2 hours away from me here in Louisiana. Steve had 4 brothers, Fred, Jason, Michael, and Tim. When Steve was only a young child, his mother, along with his brothers, noticed his athletic ability. He soared in every sport, especially football. Steve attended Mount Olive High School, where he played several sports such as football, baseball, basketball, as well as running track. When Steve was only a junior in high school, he led his football team, the Mount Olive Pirates, all the way to the state championship. Steve was named All-American by Super Prep magazine. While in high school, Steve became Steve Air Mcnair. That is where he received his nickname, Air Mcnair, for his amazing ability to play football. And this man was extremely talented. I watched several of his football clips while I was researching this case, and he played football like nobody's business. He was a great athlete, and everyone knew that Steve Mcnair was going to soar in every sport, but especially football. To no one's surprise, in 1991, Steve Mcnair was offered a full scholarship to the University of Florida to play running back, but Steve really wanted to play quarterback. So he chose Alcorn State University in his home state of Mississippi, where he was a remarkable football player. And in 1992, Steve Air Mcnair threw 3,541 yards and 29 touchdowns and ran in for 10 more scores. He was named first team All SWAC for 3 years in a row. Steve also won the Peyton Award and finished third in the Heisman Trophy voting. Steve Mcnair also fathered 2 children in the early 90s. His first son, Stephen Latrell Mcnair, was born with his high school sweetheart. Not long after, Steve had a second son, Stephen O'Brien Mcnair. And while Steve was at Alcorn State University, he locked eyes with a beautiful student named Nichelle Courtwright. He said he saw her in anatomy class and it was love at first sight. And in 1997, Steve married Nichelle. They shared 2 sons, Tyler and Trenton. In 1995, Steve Mcnair entered the draft where he was a 3rd overall pick. He was chosen by the Houston Oilers by head coach Jeff Fisher, where Steve Mcnair signed a 7-year contract. In 1999, the Houston Oilers relocated to Nashville, Tennessee, where they became the Tennessee Titans. Steve was a great football player and had a great first year with the Tennessee Titans. He played great. He was wonderful and quickly became a fan favorite. and he was known as the toughest man in the NFL. He played through every injury. Y'all, when I watched one of his games, when I watched the documentary, I saw that Steve Mcnair went down and was holding his hand. And as we know, in football, you need your hands, you need your legs, you need these things to run and catch. Steve got back to the bench and literally, y'all, his finger was going like this. I mean, it wasn't even straight, it was tilted. He sat there and waited for the EMTs to come. They had to come check him out. And he just popped that puppy back into place and kept playing. Kept playing, y'all. My dramatic self would probably have the choppers, the stretcher, the ambulance, and be on the field like I'm dying, I can't play, knowing me. But Steve was so tough that he played through every single injury. His brother said as long as Steve was breathing, he was playing. There was nothing that was going to stop him from playing football. And the Tennessee Titans were, yes, a brand new team. But in January of 2000, this brand new team, the Tennessee Titans, went all the way to the Super Bowl and played in Atlanta. They were remarkable and great against the St. Louis Rams, which is another amazing team at the time. No one would ever think that this brand new team would be in the Super Bowl in the year 2000. How amazing is that? But sadly, the Tennessee Titans lost by 1 yard in the last play of the game. It was so devastating to watch. When I watched it, I wanted to fast forward. It was so heartbreaking. They lost by 1 yard. And the final score was 23-16. The team was devastated, especially Steve Mcnair, but he had nothing to be upset about. He led his team all the way to Atlanta, Georgia, where they played a great game for the 2000 Super Bowl. Steve Mcnair was also a very loving and compassionate man. It was said that after one of his games, he overheard a fan speaking with another fan saying that because the Tennessee Titans lost the game, that he lost $100. He was upset that his team didn't win. What does Steve Mcnair do? Steve Mcnair hands the fan a $100 bill and says, "Hey, I'm sorry. And the fan is like, "Oh my God, you're Steve Mcnair. You're Steve Mcnair." He said, "I'm sorry you lost $100, but here you go," and walked away. That's how sweet he was. That's how much he cared about his fans and cared about the sport of football. He wanted to be the best. He wanted to excel, and he wanted to make all of his fans happy. He loved and adored all of his friends, family, and especially his fans. Steve Mcnair played for the Houston Oilers / Tennessee Titans from 1995 to 2005. And in 2006, Steve Mcnair started playing for the Baltimore Ravens from 2006 to 2007. After playing for 13 seasons, which included being named the NFL co-MVP for the 2003 season and reaching 3 Pro Bowls, he retired from football in 2007. His number 9 jersey has been retired by the Titans. After Steve Mcnair retired, he opened up a restaurant, Gridiron 9. He was getting into the business of things. As I was watching several of the documentaries on Steve Mcnair, I saw that some of his hobbies included taking naps, resting, and going fishing. Steve loved to go fishing. He also would watch The Price is Right and sometimes took a nap and rested before every game. And I heard a funny story while I was watching one of the documentaries. While Steve was fishing, he caught a huge fish. Steve loved catfish, and he caught this huge fish, his friend said. And his friend said, "Steve, you're not going to put that fish in your Mercedes, right?" He said, "Hell yeah, I'm going to put that fish in my Mercedes. I don't care about my car. I care about my fish and getting this baby home." Steve said, "I'm a country boy from Mississippi, and this is what I do. I love to fish. I don't care what car I'm in. I'm putting my fish in my car, and I'm taking it home." I thought that story was hilarious. No matter what, he was getting his fish home some kind of way. And here in Louisiana, we the same way. We love to go fishing. We love to go frogging. We love to catch all these critters. And what do? We don't care what car we in. We're going to put that in the trunk, the back seat, or have the kids holding it in the front seat. It's what we do. We love that kind of stuff. But Steve Mcnair enjoyed fishing so much. Steve also split his time from Mississippi to Tennessee. He loved his friends, family, and especially his kids. He loved going to different places, meeting fans, and spending time with them. But Steve also loved something else, and that something else was women. Around December of 2008, Steve Mcnair walked into Dave & Buster's in Nashville, Tennessee. He plopped down in Sahil Kazemi's section. She was going to be his waitress. Throughout this video, I'm going to call Sahil Kazemi Jenny, as she liked to be referred to by her friends as well as Steve. Jenny was born on May 29th, 1989 in Iran. When Jenny was only 9 years old, her mother was brutally murdered by a home invasion burglary. When Jenny was 13 years old, her family relocated to the United States, ending up in Jacksonville, Florida. Jenny was a typical teenager, hanging out at the mall, staring at boys, and by the time she was a young teenager, she spoke 3 languages, including English. Jenny never really fit in and didn't really have that many friends. She was often bullied. Jenny started showing several behavior problems while she was a teenager. But all of that stopped when Jenny was 16. She met her boyfriend, 20-year-old Keith Norfleet. She loved him and was head over heels in love with Keith. She would have done anything for Keith. When she was 16, Jenny decided to drop out of high school and move to Nashville, Tennessee, along with her boyfriend, Keith. Jenny, along with her boyfriend, Keith, loved being in Tennessee, and Keith loved the Tennessee Titans. He was so excited to see them played live once they lived in Nashville, Tennessee. Jenny and Keith never missed a Tennessee Titans game. They loved being there. And Keith, Jenny's boyfriend, says that his whole life he idolized Steve Mcnair. That was his childhood hero. He adored Steve Mcnair and watched every single game he played in love that he could be in Nashville, Tennessee, watching him right in front of his eyes. Sadly, Jenny and Keith broke up, but they were still in a lease together. Jenny worked 2 jobs and loved being independent. When Jenny was only 19 years old, they were broken up. She comes home from work and tells Keith, guess who came to the restaurant? Guess who came to the restaurant? Steve Mcnair. And Keith is overjoyed. He's like, did you get a picture? Did you get his autograph? I can't believe you got to meet him. But all of a sudden, Keith realized that his ex-girlfriend, the girl who he was still madly in love with, is now texting and seeing Steve Mcnair. And he makes the comment, how can I still adore this man? How can I still idolize this man when he is now talking and seeing my ex-girlfriend who I'm in love with? And Steve Mcnair, even though he was a 35-year-old married father of 4, he kept his relationship with 19-year-old Jenny no secret. They vacationed in Las Vegas, Florida, parasailed overlooking the ocean. They were smitten with each other. It was said that Steve met Jenny's family and that Jenny had traveled to Mississippi to meet members of Steve's family. It was also said that Steve had made the comment along with Jenny that Steve was going to leave his wife, divorce his wife, and have a relationship with Jenny. Do I believe that? I don't know. I don't know if I believe that, but that was said. Jenny also made the comment that her and Steve were going to start a life together and discuss adopting children. And I know what you were thinking, the same thing I was thinking. Does this 19-year-old girl really think that this 35-year-old man who is married with a beautiful wife and 4 kids is going to leave everything for her? Yes, when you are 19 years old, you believe everything someone tells you. You are young, you are naive, and you want to be in love. And you think you are in love, so you believe everything that they are saying. Jenny wanted to be with Steve. She wanted the fairy tale. And she was saying that Steve told her that he was going to leave everything and start this brand new life with her. But in reality, it doesn't normally work that way. We do believe those things when we are young and 19 years old. But I'm 40 now. Would I believe that when I was 19? Absolutely. When I was young, I started working at Hooters when I was 17 years old. And if y'all would only know some of the stuff these men would tell us, and we would believe all of that stuff. Crazy things. Oh, they have this yacht and this and these private jets and all this stuff. And we believed all that. And none of that was true. Now that I'm 40 years old, if someone would say, oh, you're so wonderful, you're so special, and I'm going to leave everything for you, I would be like, really? Really? You're going to leave everything for me? I'm so wonderful, I'm so special? No. Reality sets in when you're older and more mature, and you say to yourself, this is not happening. This will never happen. But when you're young, you believe everything. And Jenny actually believed that Steve Mcnair was going to walk away and leave everything for her. Does it happen? Yes, I'm sure it has happened. I'm sure it will happen. But does it normally happen? No. But Jenny wanted it to happen. In May of 2009, on Jenny's 20th birthday, Steve Mcnair co-signed along with Jenny a beautiful black Cadillac Escalade. Steve Mcnair put down the down payment, it was said, and Jenny made the monthly payments to maintain her independence. Jenny was overjoyed about her new life and loved Steve. She was infatuated with Steve and loved spending time with Steve. Steve also had a condo that he and Jenny would meet up at. Steve had this condo and he used it to chill and have fun. He and Jenny would often meet up at his condo. Jenny loved Steve more than anything and was smitten with him. But Jenny wasn't Steve's only extramarital affair. In May of 2009, Steve Mcnair met a beautiful 25-year-old woman named Leah Ngagni. Leah and Steve started a dating relationship, it was said. And one night, it was said that Jenny spotted another woman leaving Steve Mcnair's condo and was furious and enraged. It was said that Jenny confronted Steve about the other woman, and Steve assured Jenny that she was the only woman in his life besides his wife. Now, I don't know about y'all, but this man must have had time on his hands, because I have one man that I have, and that's more than enough. I cannot imagine having 3 to please, but it was said that Steve Mcnair not only had his beautiful wife, Nichelle, but he also had Leah and Jenny on the side. Jenny said she had a feeling that Steve Mcnair was lying to her. It was said that Jenny told friends that she knew Steve wasn't telling her the truth, and she felt very fooled and embarrassed by believing everything Steve had told her. It was said in June of 2009 that Steve Mcnair's new love interest, Leah, spotted a black Cadillac Escalade following her when she left Steve McNair's apartment. It was also said that Leah stated that that same vehicle was seen on her street or circling her block in the next several weeks following that incident. It was also said that Jenny poured her heart out to a Dave & Buster's customer, telling the customers all about her and Steve Mcnair's affair. Jenny was absolutely heartbroken about the way her relationship was going with Steve. She told people that she had found out that Steve was unfaithful to her. Even though he had a wife, she was upset about his new relationship with this other woman, Leah. So what does Jenny do? Jenny's like, well, if he's going to be unfaithful to me, I'm going to start seeing other men. And good for her. She was not just going to sit there and do nothing. Jenny started seeing other men as well. And Jenny was so devastated because on July 1st, she saw used condoms at Steve's condo, it was said. Jenny was losing it at this point. She was drowning. She didn't know what to do. Steve was taking care of her. Steve was giving her money, and Jenny was drowning in debt. It was said that Jenny's roommate had moved out, leaving her with a $990 rent every month, as well as her $800 black Cadillac Escalade payment. She was so worried about paying her bills, and bill collectors were calling. On July 1st, Jenny approached someone about buying a gun. On July 2nd, Jenny used her ex-boyfriend Keith's computer to put her kitchen and living room furniture up for sale. Y'all, this was a 20-year-old girl in so much financial debt. She was so young to have gotten herself into this much debt, but she couldn't get out of it. She was drowning in debt, and she was begging someone to throw her a life preserver. She didn't know what to do. She was trying to get out of this. And on top of that, her relationship with Steve Mcnair was going down the drain. So she was just crazy amounts of stress. She didn't know what to do with herself. She wanted her relationship to work. She wanted to be able to pay her bills, but she was drowning at this point and just said to herself, I don't know what else to do. Just past midnight on July 2nd, 2009, Jenny is arrested on DUI charges, while Steve Mcnair is inside of the vehicle along with a friend. Jenny is placed under arrest and put in the cop car. Steve, along with a friend, are allowed to leave the scene. Of course, Steve Mcnair wants to get away from the scene. He doesn't want to be seen around the area. He doesn't want to be filmed. He doesn't want it on television. He wants to be removed from the scene, and it was said that he wanted to be picked up. If you watch the video, you hear and see Jenny talking to Steve, but I don't know if it's on the phone. I don't know if it's through the cop car. I don't know if he's standing right there, but you hear Steve and Jenny's voice, and you hear her talking. I love you, and I won't say anything. She's saying all kind of stuff. Steve arranges for Jenny's bail. It was said that Steve Mcnair then was picked up and went to Leah's house, his other dating girlfriend. It was said that Steve told Leah, my good friend Jenny was just arrested. Jenny was devastated that Steve Mcnair was not there to pick her up from jail. It was said that she was fussing at Steve, that she called Steve, and Steve said, look, we'll just talk about it later. Jenny sent several text messages to Steve that day. She texts at 10:05, baby, I might have a breakdown. I'm so stressed. Steve responded with, everything's gonna be okay. Jenny, baby, I might need to go to the hospital. Baby, what's wrong with me? I can hardly breathe. Steve said, where are you? You want me to come see you? Jenny says, if it doesn't go away, I'm going to the hospital. Steve said, okay, please let me know. I'm here if you need me. Jenny, babe, I have to be with you tonight. I don't care where. Tell me where you're going to be. Steve did not respond to either text. Steve deposited $2,000 to her account. As y'all know, when I research cases, I dig very deep into cases. I watch all the documentaries, read all the books, and watch everything and read everything about each person. And as I was reading these text messages, I noticed a young girl very stressed out and worried. We are talking about a young girl that lost her mother at only 9 years old, and at only 13 years old relocated to another country where she knew no one. And now she is 20 years old, involved in not a love triangle, but a love square. We are talking about 4 people in a relationship where no one knows about each other. And Jenny is extremely stressed out and worried about her relationship with Steve Mcnair, along with drowning in thousands of dollars of bills every month. She was in debt way over her head and did not know what to do. It sounds like she is extremely stressed out and worried. A lot of people that I have discussed with the case have said, oh, Jenny's just trying to get Steve's attention. She doesn't know what to do, so she's just saying she's going to go to the hospital. Do I believe that? No. I think Jenny was losing it, slowly losing it. She was filled with anxiety and stress and needed help. She was overworked. She didn't know what to do with herself. She didn't know where to turn at this point. She was that worried about her life at that moment and didn't know what to do. It was said that her ex-boyfriend Keith, who was still in love with her, even took out a line of credit to try to help Jenny. He was that worried about her. He said he knew Jenny better than anyone else, and he noticed in those couple of days, she was extremely stressed out and worried about something. He said she was mainly worried about how she was going to pay all of these bills. She was so stressed out that Jenny purchased a gun on July 3rd. On the night of July 3rd, 2009, Jenny finishes her shift at Dave & Buster's. It was said that she told the manager, "My life is just shit now. I should just end it." Jenny was devastated about what was going on in her life at that moment. It was said that Jenny texted Steve asking him if he wanted to go have a drink. Steve responded with, "I can't, probably not. I'm having trouble getting the boys to sleep." It was said that Jenny then called Adrian, the man whom she purchased the gun from, asking him if he wanted to hang out. We do not know if they hung out. We do not know if anything happened between them. But it was said that Jenny and Adrian were texting and talking very frequently, and there may have been some flirting going on between them since their first meeting. And it was said that Jenny was going to Steve's condo. It was said that Steve Mcnair arrived at his condo around 1 a.m. on July 4th. We do not know when, but during this time, Steve Mcnair and Jenny were shot and killed. On July 4th, around 1 p.m., the cops were notified when someone finds Steve Mcnair in his condo shot. He was shot 4 times, and it was an overkill. Any one of the shots would have been deadly to Steve. They also find Jenny has a gunshot wound to her head. They find gun residue on Jenny, along with the gun underneath her. It was said that cops believe this was a murder-suicide. It was also said that the cops believe Jenny shot Steve and then positioned herself beside him or on his lap and shot herself. It is also believed that Jenny posed herself like this in such a way to say, "I'm on him and he's mine forever." It was said that cops, along with several other people, do believe that Jenny shot and killed Steve Mcnair. According to Jenny's family and friends, they do not believe that Jenny would murder Steve and then turn the gun on herself. It was also said that there were other people of interest, such as Jenny's ex-boyfriend, such as Steve's business partner, such as the man that found Steve's body, such as the man that sold Jenny the firearm. But it was said that police believe it was a murder-suicide by Jenny. And Jenny was having a very tough time at this time. She was very depressed and very sad and extremely stressed out and anxious. But could it be someone else? Who knows? Who knows what happened that morning? But what we do know is two people sadly lost their life at such a young age. My final thought, I always give y'all my final thought. And my final thought is, I do believe that this is a horrific and tragic story that did not have to take place. Steve Mcnair was only 36 years old and had only been retired 2 years when he sadly lost his life. He left behind 4 beautiful little boys and a beautiful wife and the rest of his life ahead of him. Jenny was only 20 years old, actually turning 20 just 5 weeks before she died. She was very stressed out, very sad, and very worried at this time. And in my opinion, I do believe that Jenny was very stressed out and very anxious and very worried about what was to come. I do believe that she was in a situation that she could not get out of. She didn't know how to get out of. She was drowning in debt and in love with a married man that was having a relationship with not only her, but with someone else. She wasn't involved in a love triangle. She was involved in a love square, and she was right in the middle of it, not knowing what to do and where to turn in her life. She was at the point of no return when she purchased the gun. And why did she purchase the gun? Did she want to murder Steve? Did she want to harm herself? What did she want to do that night? And what turned? Because police do believe that Steve may have been asleep on the couch when he was shot. So what happened that night? Well, that morning, we do not know. What led to this incident? And do y'all believe that it was a murder-suicide? Or do y'all believe something else happened? Y'all leave comments down below and tell me what y'all think it may have happened that night. And on my final note, know your worth. Know what you are worth. Know what you bring to the table. Hell, you bought the table. You know what you bring to the table. You are a wonderful person and you deserve the best in life no matter what. You deserve everything perfect that comes to you. Know what you are worth to yourself and know what you are worth to others. Always know that you are special. You are wonderful. When you look in the mirror every day, say to yourself, I know how special and wonderful I am. And I know that whoever has me is going to be lucky that I'm in their life. And if someone wants to walk out of your life, you let them. You let them go. Always know your worth. I want y'all to all know that. Know that y'all deserve to be treated like the king or queen that you are. My man treats me like a queen every single day. He makes me feel loved. He makes me feel special. He makes me feel desired. And there's not a day that goes by where I don't feel like the queen that I am when I'm in his arms. And I want y'all to feel the same way every single day. Know that I am here for you. And as always, stay safe. Always be aware of your surroundings. And always know that you can message me or email me with any request or anything that y'all want to discuss. I hope after this video that y'all like, subscribe, and comment. And don't forget to press on that notification bell so you never miss a video from me, Anne Marie. And as always, thank you for all the love and support. And for you, I am truly grateful. I will see y'all next week with more videos. And next week, I have some very exciting news for y'all. So y'all don't want to miss this. And as always, I love all of you very much. Bye.